Hello subscribers, here is another review, and today we'll be looking at the Primal Attack Savage Strike Postosuchus. Now, I took so many trips to Target to try to find this guy alongside the Scutosaurus and Aeolramus, but unfortunately I could never find any of them. So I had to order the Postosuchus off of eBay for $20. And I'm going to be quite mad if I end up finding this guy in a store. So here's the packaging, the same old awesome box right here. Of course, on the back, you just got the artwork of the figure and then the other Savage Strike dinosaurs. So let's waste no time and get the Postosuchus out of the packaging. Here is the Post Crocodile out of the packaging. And the promo images for this guy from last year, I thought the sculpt looked really good, but the light blues really didn't fit the species. The Toy Fair images made the figure look much better. And now that I have it in hands, this figure really exceeded my expectations. It could be my new favorite Primal Attack figure. I know I said in my previous videos that the Sarcosuchus was my favorite, then the Seats, then the Majungasaurus, and now this Postosuchus. But I think this Postosuchus may actually, legit be my favorite of the Primal Attack line. Let's talk about the detailing as always. One thing I would like to get out of the way is the smooth underbelly, which is per usual with these Mattel Jurassic World dinosaurs, or prehistoric animals I mean. And you can see the front limbs have 4 digits, while the legs have 3 digits. This is actually false because I think Postosuchus actually had 5 digits on both the arms and the legs. But this is, an animal from the Jurassic franchise, so that can be excused. You see, all across the body, you got these nicely sculpted scales. See all these crocodilian-like scales going down the body. See on the other side of the figure as well. And then you got these cool-looking bird-like scales on his fingers and toes right there. And then on the top, you've got these crocodilian-like osteoderms, which is understandable as these Rhysuchian animals were, I think, distantly related to modern-day crocodilians. See, I like how you see these smaller osteoderms right here, and then you got these larger ones on the side, and of course the one on the top that starts from the back of the head and all the way down the tail. Now, the most detailing is in the head. As you can see, it could pass off as a generic theropod, but it could also pass off as a Rhysuchian, because, see, it has a short, boxy skull. You can see the skull openings right there, as well as all these pebbles right here. Here's the other side of the head right there, and there's the top, and there's the bottom as well. Got these sculpted lines right there, and then you got the teeth. They don't look too blunt. They look like teeth that would belong to an animal with a powerful bite. Now, opening up that jaw, you can see the inside of the mouth. It's mainly smooth though. You see the tongue right there. And yeah, and you see the jaw muscles right there. He's got some lines sculpted on there. So yeah, that's about it for the detailing. I think that the color scheme is simple but amazing. And I think these colors look good on this Postosuchus, even though they seem like they would belong to a marine animal rather than a terrestrial animal. So as you can see, the main color across the figure is just blue. And on the underside, the jaw, the neck, and the chest is just solid white. And then on the top, you've got this dark gray or black striping that unfortunately doesn't continue all the way down the tail. Neither does, the white underbelly, which is laziness on Mattel's part. And you see the eye right there? It's orange with a black slit pupil. And then the teeth are like a yellowish color. And of course on the inside, the gums, the tongue, and the jaw muscle are all red. Articulation is what you would expect from a Savage Strike figure. The front limbs are on a ball joint, and they move quite smoothly. The back limbs, of course you can move them frontwards and backwards, and you can pivot them inwards and outwards. So that's 4 points of articulation, or 5 if you want to count the action feature. Now this action feature is the reason why this figure exceeded my expectations, or one of the reasons why. So it's quite similar to the Dino Rivals Dimetrodon, where you move the tail to the right and then the figure moves its jaws. But this one actually opens up its jaws instead, which I think is better for carnivores. Now this action feature feels very strong and satisfying in my opinion. See the springs right here, they work very well. And I really like that loud noise when the jaws slam shut. What I also like is, see the scales right there? how they move against this part of the sculpt, and it makes the action feature feel really good. One thing I notice about this Postosuchus is the good plastic quality. See, that feels like pretty thick plastic, which is what Mattel should be doing for most of their figures. And because of that plastic, this figure actually has quite a bit of weight for its size. Unlike something else like the Dino Rivals Parasaurolophus here. You see, this is pretty cheap plastic, which is something Mattel should not be doing. Now let's do some good old comparisons. First, let's bring in the blind bag Primal Attack Postosuchus. And then the colors of this little guy is quite similar to the promo images of the Savage Strike figure. Speaking of Postosuchuses, let's bring in the Safari 2008 figure and the Schleich figure. Now, as you can see, for these larger figures, their poses are actually quite similar. And I think in Ludia's Jurassic World the game, the image for their Postosuchus is actually quite similar to these two. So I'm assuming that the Safari one is the one that started it. Let's put the Postosuchus next to another non-dinosaur from Mattel, which is the Dimetrodon. Now, the action feature on this one is more smoother than the Postosuchus. But sculpts, obviously the Postosuchus is better. This Dimetrodon just looks too cartoony in my opinion, but they both have wonderful color schemes. Here is the other two Primal Attack Savage Strikes I have so far, and I think these are all quite compatible with each other. And I also like how they all have 3 different types of colors on them. Such as, Sauropelta has bone white, red, and gray, while Charlie has forest green for the striping, swamp green for its main color, and then a lighter green for its underbelly. Here are my 3 favorite Soundstrike figures, which is the Sinoceratops, Majungasaurus, and Irritator. Now, a funny thing is, when I was looking at this guy, I was thinking in my head, should this Postosuchus or this Majungasaurus be my favorite Primal Attack figure? And right when I was thinking about that, my Majungasaurus fell over my shelves and caused a few of my other Jurassic World toys to fall over. And I was like, yeah, this Postosuchus is now my new favorite. Here is the Savage Strike Postosuchus next to the 3 massive biter figures, which is the Seats, Tarbosaurus, and Sarcosuchus, which is another non-dinosaur reptile. And I think all 4 of these figures are quite compatible with each other, and they're all in my top 10 favorite Primal Attack figures. Last but not least, we're going to compare the figure that's being reviewed next to the amazing Collectae Mini Zafactinus. So my final thoughts on the Primal Attack Savage Strike Postosuchus. This figure is absolutely fantastic. It's very well constructed, especially when compared to some of Mattel's other figures. This is definitely my favorite of the Primal Attack figures, and one of my favorite Mattel Jurassic World toys ever. Now, I do highly recommend you guys picking this up, not only because of how well made it is, but also we don't often get these type of prehistoric reptiles in toy form. Most of the time we're just getting, dinosaurs, pterosaurs, and marine reptiles. So if I had to give this guy a rating, I'd say he gets a 10 out of 10. The last time I gave a Mattel Jurassic World figure a 10 out of 10 was, I think, the Battle Damaged Plesiosaurus and the Real Field Mosasaurus. I think there was a couple others, but those are the ones I remember. So, if you guys like this review, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.